Welcome back to the channel. What is going on with the goings on? Well, yesterday, Keefe D went to court in reference to the Tupac murder case to have the case dismissed. We're going to get straight into what happened. Please hit the like, subscribe, and definitely turn on your notification bell. So when I get the drop, you get the drop. Let's get straight into it.
The state cannot proceed with a conviction against Mr. Davis solely based on his admissions. And if they don't have any evidence to corroborate those admissions, the case should be dismissed. And so without the state providing any evidence outside of those confessions, that's a huge problem. We should have done this as a habeas petition. I disagree with that. Here's the reason why. We are not contesting probable cause. What we're contesting is, after all of the evidence has been delivered, there's no corroborating evidence. There's nothing. And then the state also stated that we're just looking for a corpus delicti. You just have to look at the body. If there's a body, there's corpus delicti. And that's just not the rule, Your Honor. Again. And so those facts have to be evident. And the only way we have those facts is from Mr. Davis's own mouth. The other in this, which I'll talk about in my second argument, are all dead. And so, but for Mr. Davis speaking and giving those statements, there is no corpus delicti in this case. I'll go to argument 2. And that's Mr. Davis's right to a fair trial and due process. They pointed out the correct standard of review. I don't agree with that standard. However, the part that we disagree with is whether Mr. Davis is prejudiced. Saying, well, the witnesses that died are going to give speculative as to what the witnesses would say. And that would have been the situation. In this case, it's different. Without these 4 co-conspirators being alive, being available at trial, Davis is completely prejudiced from proceeding. And his defense is he made this all up. We don't have a murder according to the state's theory, which is following, again, solely the admissions. So we go back to when was this information available to the state. I would allege that it was available all the way in 1996. Everybody knew Orlando Anderson was in a fight with Tupac. Well, he wasn't in a fight. He got beat up by Tupac and other members of his gang viciously. But it's a tactical delay that goes severely against my client because now all of these players are dead. It leads me back to the immunity argument. In 2009, I counted, well, I'll just go through the pages, Your Honor. In that 2009 discussion with the Las Vegas Metro Police Department, no intent of arresting Keefe. Page 11, I'm not here to arrest you. I'm not here to arrest you. I'm not going to arrest you. Page 12, you're free to leave. I'm not going to arrest you. You can go wherever you want. I want to close the Tupac case. Page 138, this is confidential and covered and you cannot be charged on it. The state was given the information by the LAPD. The LAPD had a immunity agreement with him out of the 2008 confession. Detective Dupree set that up. That decision was made back then not to proceed with the trial. We believe to show why they did not go forward and prosecute. They just can't sit here and say, well, he kept talking about it. No, you had that information in the beginning. You should have arrested him back in 2009.
Detective Long never tells him that he has immunity, but even if he did, all that would go to is the admissibility of the statement, because Detective Long doesn't have the authority to issue that, nor do the LA DAs or the LAPD or the federal government. Only a court in the state of Nevada can say Mr. Davis has immunity from the crime of murder in the state of Nevada. Somehow we waited intentionally so everyone else would be dead to charge Mr. Davis with a crime. No, Mr. Davis chose to publicly confess to a crime multiple times. And that's the evidence that spurred the investigation of Detective Long and ultimately resulted in his arrest. Mr. Davis has no basis to complain that he's sitting in that box right now. Because Mr. Davis got up there and then even quote once said, I think it's in May of 23, on video, I beat the streets, I beat the feds, I beat cancer. That was his choice to make. And when he made that choice, the state of Nevada chose to charge him.
Again, that's in the preliminary hearing stages of the case. The black letter law is this. The law states you cannot conviction based upon just his admissions and statements. That's the law. And that's all they have is his admissions. That whole trial is illegal. That's a legal trial. It's going up for appeal. It should not happen. They need to have something else. A gun. They don't have anything. They don't have anything to even prove it was in the state of Nevada at the time of this incident. We don't know if the Crips were here. That's all hearsay that came from the grand jury, and there's no evidence whatsoever. And so without that, we can't put on the trial, Your Honor. We just simply can't. In regards to the delay, again, I don't blame this office, this DA's office in regards to the delay, but somebody made the decision along the way that we are not going to prosecute Mr. Davis. And this office now needs to go forward with that immunity agreement. They need to. Those promises were made by their officer, the state's officer, and now we're just going to ignore that? That doesn't make sense.
You mean from this office, or from the general?
From the general immunity that started from 2008 and went to 2009. Like I said, the only reason that
Who within Clark County DA's office made that argument? Was that?
No, it wasn't at the DA's office. It was the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Officer, Detective Long.
Things like, I'm not going to arrest you.
Right.
So I'm going to deny the motion on another. Overall, the motion to dismiss is denied and is subject to appeal the order consistent with this ruling. And with